Hi, welcome to a new video dedicated to new I/O FPV camera module. This is a new module from FXT. This is the FX805 including an OSD. So it's a perfect companion for any pretty cheap tiny quadcopter. If you want now to enjoy some basic OSD information, such kind of module can be very interesting because it only had just few extra fraction of gram, and you will have at least some basic OSD feedback, such the main battery voltage for any 1S FPV machine, for example, and some also the time lapse from the takeoff. So let's have a look to this new I/O module. Here is all the content. First of all, we start with the user manual. It's super printed small, where you can find all the list of tripartite VFRAC and V-band. You don't have an exact 40 channel. In fact, for some band, you don't have the 8 channel, but only 7. But mainly, you have 37 VFRAC available, divided into 5 sub-band, and the RAS sub-band is obviously supported. You have the general wiring. Okay, in fact you have only two main lead cable, okay, 2 poles of each of them, but you have to know that you can power directly from 1S from 2.7 volts, so ultra low voltage, up to 5 volts, so ideal after a back, for example, from a 2S and above. So no problem if you install it just after a back. It's outputting 25 milliwatts, okay, and it's a 600 TVL with only 1 lux of light sensitivity, okay, so it's not a super good performance, especially with now new CMOS camera, and especially now new CCD camera with 0.01, so much more light sensitive. But the field of view is tuned to 125 degrees, which is not bad. And mine comes with a linear antenna. I think it's more adapted for indoors flyers when you will crash it a lot. It comes in NTSC system, no possibility to select through a button to pair, so you have to choose either the NTSC or pair when you will purchase this model. So here is the module, as you can see, so super compact, and let's give immediately the weight of it, okay, and some dimensions. So you can see there the main lead power, where you can input from a 2.7 volt up to 5 volt, and this one, the blue, white and black, for PWM connection, if you want to control the OSD information to be displayed and some voltage calibration, for example, and the frequency selection through a radio command, it could be a nice initiative. So let's give the information about the weight. So standalone without the lens cap, weights 4.5 gram, which is not so bad, not among the lightest, but you have to know that if you don't plan to use the PWM signal, you can probably cut the black and white, and you can save something about a fraction of gram, probably 0.5 grams. So you can be around 4 gram with the short wires. The lead power also can be reduced. Also the cable is a little bit long for a tiny whoop system. It could be reduced. You have lens in, I will give exactly, but it seems to be in M7 format. So we have something about, let's measure it exactly. Yes, something about 7.8. So it's an M7 format, okay, and 125 degrees. 2 layers, the front, the camera, and the rear, the video transmitter, okay, and you can see this long elongated chip is the OSD module, okay, where you can find also the main controller as well, where you can find and directly plug on it the PWM wires. So from the novelty here, you can control some OSD information, and for example, you can display the craft name, the time elapsed from takeoff, the battery voltage, okay. If you place it after a back, it will only display plus 5 volt, okay, so it's I think a good option for 1S system, okay. And what you can have some and the current frequency, of the selected VFrame. Good news, you can enable or disable the printing of such information through the OSD. I will show in a few instances. So pretty light, and it comes also with this camera support, okay, standalone close to 0.5 gram, 0.9 gram, and it's good. For example, here is an Huachin E011C, and you can see that you can directly install it directly thanks to three screws, and this one offer a nominal angle about 15 degrees, so it's great for fast-forward movement, but no real problem for indoors flying. Okay, so the total weight of both, okay, is about close to 5 grams something, if I can install correctly the wires. Okay, we'll roll them like this, and we should not exceed 5.5 gram. Okay, so let's discover a bit of the wires. So the main power connector is with a micro GST connector with 1.25 millimeters. So such kind of battery for the tiny 6, for example, some board clash model are working directly. Okay, and when you will power it directly from a LiPo, you have the light, okay, and you have at least the blue light will be the current will display the current selected V band, and if you don't see any red light, it means that you are not in the first frequency of the current selected band. Okay, so as soon as you will see also a red light, you are sure you are, for example, in E1 or B1 or F1 and so on, like this. Okay, and how to select the VFrame? Okay, just press on the lateral short press, and you will see a brief red light like this. Okay, and okay, I will cycle. And when it stays solid, you are sure you are in the first frequency of the band. How to select the V band? Long press, okay, on the button, and after a couple of seconds, it will shift to the right. Okay, let's do it one more time. Release, it shift to the right. I am in another band. One more time, shift to the right, and so on. Shift to the right. Okay, and I will return to the band E, which is the second from. Okay, and be aware, for example, as I say, you don't have the 4G channel. For example, the fourth frequency of the basket band doesn't exist, only the third. Okay, and the fourth is nothing else than the third. It's strange, but it's like this. So I will show you now the results, okay, on the FPV screen. Okay, like this. I will unzoom a little bit, and we have, as you can see, by default, the time elapsed from the powering of the system, the current selected band E3, the call sign set to call sign, and the current V battery. So if now you will press much more longer this main power button, more than 5 seconds, you will enter the OSD menu. Let's do it. 2, 3, 4, 5, and now you enter into the OSD. So you can navigate by short pressing. You will go down through different options. Okay, car level, for example. So the car level is to select the OSD information. Okay, the main one, the main line in the horizontal axis. The vertical is the vertical axis, and I will say the more important is the car location setup. So how to enter into this current sub option? Long press on it button. Okay, now you will have different elements to be displayed. So by default, they are all display call sign. So if you want to disable the display of the call sign, you can long press on the call sign. Okay, and then here you will long press here one more time. Okay, to go to the select option. Okay, selection option. Then short press to turn off. Then long press to exit from this sub option, and now short press to go down. And I will press long press to save. Okay, you have OK printed. So now the call sign is disabled. So what, for example, I don't want to be display is the current frequency, because it's not super important in my point of view, but we can live like that. Maybe we can live like that. So you can see you can disable or enable all the force OSD, basic OSD information, and here you have the basic display in terms of pixels, so of all of information. That's great. So the first is probably the rows, and the second the columns. So the timer is on the first column, and the call sign was on the 15, and so on, and the voltage completely to the right with 25. Okay, so I will press short press until return, go to return, and long press to exit. Okay, now press exit and long press to exit completely. And now, as you can see, I've got a reboot. And now the call sign is not enabled. I should decrease the position of the call sign, but you can see you can do it very easily. So it's a very nice option. Okay, I will turn off my monitor because the LiPo is flat. Okay, but as you can see, it's very easy to select the position and what you want to be displayed. It's great for foreground, ideal for any tiny whoop toys quadcopter who don't have any advanced set, for example flight controller with a built-in beta OSD. It's a great alternative to add such kind of basic OSD display. It's just a fraction of drive more heavier, but almost nothing. So now it's time to install it on this for example eSIM, okay, and have a look what is the performances in terms of light rendition and etc. Let's go.